Hey friends, you're listening to This Quote Changed My Life, a podcast about inspired action. My name is Tracey and I'm the host of the show. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 68 of the podcast. Sorry while I shuffle down and get comfy. If you are listening through the podcast realms, hello. So nice to have you back. If you're watching me on YouTube, hello. I love this little cactus light. Have you been noticing my little LED lights in the background for every video? I change them up every week. And I love this little guy. He's so cute. Where is he? Anyway, I hope that life is treating you kind, you guys. I think we just all need to take a big collective breath out and breath in, me included. But I hope that you are doing well wherever you are in the world. And I hope today's quote kind of offers you something to think about. I wanted this podcast episode to be for anyone who feels like that they're at a crossroads in their life. I think that we all have been there at some point where you kind of feel like you don't know who you are anymore, or you don't feel like the person that you used to be, and that something's changing, something's about to change. For me, the biggest milestones where I felt this shift was when I was graduating high school, and also when I was turning 30. Those were the times where I felt like I wasn't the same person I was the year before, and that big things were happening. So this quote offers some clarity to me, and I hope it does for you too. The quote is, I'm going to read it. Sometimes deciding who you are is deciding who you'll never be. Bam. Sometimes deciding who you are and who you want to be and the qualities that you want to embody and the gifts that you want to share with the world, that's all based on deciding who you're not going to be anymore. Often we shy away from all the really bad things that we've said or we've done in our lives because it's uncomfortable and it could be very embarrassing to revisit it. But I think it also gives us a really good insight to the things that just don't matter to us, that didn't work, that you don't want to ever do again. And it may have sucked really bad, but you've gone through it now, and we can take that experience and really apply it to moving forward. What are we going to do next, and what aren't we going to do next? It's like a little roadmap of sorts when you're going down the street and you've got, two different ways to turn, your old ways or your new ways. What perfect way to visualize the experience of making an intentional choice is when you're standing there and you have to make a decision on going back to the old you or trying something new. I think this quote also works for people that have felt challenged by their mental health conditions and like anxiety. For me personally, I'm very grateful to be at a point where I can recognize when my anxiety is taking over and making decisions for me, and to be able to step back and have a look to see what I've been doing in the past, and what I want to do more of in the future, has been hard. It's not easy, but it's been good to be mindful of the decisions that I get to make today. And again, it is not as easy as just thinking it. Sometimes you can't rely on the power of your mind to bring you out of those situations, especially with anxiety or depression. It takes a team to see through that fog. And by that, I mean therapy and medication. So if you really are struggling with it, I really highly suggest that you get that conversation started with your doctor, your mental health professional around you, and to get you back on the track. But as a general baseline, day-to-day check-in with yourself, knowing what you don't want is a great compass in order to move forward and reach some of those goals that you have. Sometimes deciding who you are is deciding who you'll never be. Your homework for this week is to get a piece of paper, draw up a table with 2 columns, and in the first column to jot down 1 or 2 things that you've regretted in the past, things that you've done or you've said, And I know that can be really hard to do and to be honest about, but if you can, figure out one thing that you want to change, one thing that you've done in the past that you don't want to do anymore, I think that can be very beneficial in moving forward. Because in the second column, I want you to write something to counteract it. How will you do things differently? What would you change? What could you have done? If you wrote in the first column, I was short-tempered with this person, maybe in the second column you'd write, I could be more mindful with my emotions. If you wrote something like, I'm very unkind to my body, you might counteract that with something with like, I will acknowledge and appreciate how my body functions and works for me, not against me. Let me know how you go with that. I think that can be a very challenging exercise, but these kinds of things I like to bring up because I think it's time to start thinking about the way that we treat ourselves and what we think about ourselves. So let me know how you go with it. If you like these kinds of things, I do have some worksheets on my Etsy store that deal with mindset and mindfulness, and I am developing more art therapy courses soon, which is very exciting. But I really hope that you can see some of the weaknesses that you deemed weakness or a bad thing and turn them into a strength. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of This Quote Changed My Life. If you don't already, you can follow me on Instagram under @MakeSunshineCo or find my website, thisquotepodcast.com. I really hope that you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and I shall speak to you next time. Bye bye.